Hi, my name is Kevin Curtis, and this is my self-introduction for Speech 101. My life-changing event would be when I was admitted to the hospital when I was in the Navy for depression, anxiety, and also which led to suicidal thoughts and ideations that I was having. What led to all those problems was the stressful atmosphere that I was surrounded by and engulfed in for the few years that I was in the Navy. The reason my atmosphere was so stressful was not only because I was in the military and not only because I had to protect my country, but because of my job. My job was I was a nuclear mechanic and radiological controls expert and also chemist for nuclear submarines. With that being said, at first I had to do 2 years of schooling, which they put us through rigorous training, classes, and also environments to simulate the submarine and the life on board a submarine to see whether or not only we could learn, we could also perform and withstand all the pressure and stress that we were placed under with all of our deadlines and timing that we had to have. Now, when I was in training, to mask all of the stressful symptoms that I was having in my depression and anxiety, I turned to smoking and drinking because that was available. That's what everybody else was doing, and I thought, why not? It worked. So I fell into a deep trap of alcoholism and also my addiction to smoking. Now, whenever I reported to my submarine, it was shortly after that I met my wife and we got married, and I decided I was not going to drink or smoke anymore, and I praise God for her for that. And that also, though, opened a case of worms as far as surfacing my depression and anxiety that I had hidden away and not seen at all because of my addictions prior to. Now, the life on board a submarine was not conducive to the stressful symptoms I was having with my depression and anxiety. On underways and on deployments, I would have many sleepless nights where I would just be laying crying in bed because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody to turn to. I felt like I was alone, and I felt like nobody was there for me. It wasn't until that my wife and I came back to North Carolina, where she's from, on vacation, and we were on our way back to Connecticut, where I was stationed at, that I finally broke down, and I told her I couldn't do it anymore. And she just wanted me to get help, and she told me, you need to go and you need to ask for help. And so I went to the boat, and I went to the people who were in charge of me, and I asked for help, and I told them what was going on, and they resisted and was kind of in opposition for me because they liked me as a sailor and they wanted to keep me as a body and they didn't want to lose me. Well, with them doing that, that also led to more stressful environments and more tension, which also led to deeper depression, anxiety, and ultimately my suicidal thoughts because I thought there's no way I can get out of this. I need to end it now. And I finally told them I needed help, and this is what I was thinking. And after further psychiatric evaluation off the boat, they determined that I needed to spend some time in a psychiatric hospital. I was admitted, and I spent about a week in a hospital surrounded by therapists and doctors, and ultimately helping me recover from the deep state that I was in into a more stable state that I could go home with. And afterwards, I reported home to my wife, and we ended up moving back to North Carolina after a few months due to being discharged from the military. Now, the lesson I learned from that would be to open up and to just be honest with not only those who are close by, but also those who are there to help. If I'd have been a lot more honest before, I would have understood that I needed help early on instead of turning to drinking and smoking and my own remedies, and I would have had none of these problems arise. And from that, I'm very grateful that now I can open up to basically anybody and tell them my problems because I know there's a lot more people out there who struggle from those issues, and I want them to know that it is okay to ask for help and that there are people here on this earth that are here to help you. Thank you so much.